Hi, this is Tracy, and I'm going to share with you some of the how-tos when using Schoology. What you're looking at right now is my home page. Let's go to my courses. What you're seeing right now are the courses that I'm presently teaching. So let's go ahead and create a course. I'm going to call this Sample 1. Well, I guess I'll add a space there. My subject area, I'm just going to choose Other, and I'm not going to level it. And I'm going to go ahead and create it. What I can do right here is you can add a picture that matches your course. Simply attach a file. Done. Let's add some material to our course. Schoology is set up, you can use folders. I really prefer to keep stuff organized for my students using folders for each competency. I feel like yellow would fit this course well. Competency number 1. And here I could put my description of what competency 1 was all about. Since this is a competency folder, I'm going to go ahead and leave it open, make sure it's visible. Notice I can choose hidden, I can put in start dates or range, but right now I just want to keep this visible because this is where we'll be starting. And I'm going to go ahead and hit create. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another folder for competency 2. And again, the description would go here. Now this time, I know that I'm probably going to start competency 2 the first week of February, and that's when I'll want this information available to my students. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this available after the start date. That way I don't have to remember to go in and make it visible to my students. It will just automatically appear. And I'm not going to put any end date right now because we may pull upon that information later on. So I'm just going to go ahead and create that. And I do the same thing for my other competencies or just set those up as needed. Now if you look at the screen, my screen, you'll notice this is faded, which means it's like right there, it's hidden. It will become available at midnight on February 1st. But on my students' screens, all they're going to see is competency 1. They do not see what I have hidden. And I really like this feature because it keeps the screen for my students nice and neat, especially since the majority of them use their cell phones and they're working on a much smaller screen than I am. So now that I have competency 1, let's go and add some information to it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add an assignment. And I'm just going to put chapter 1 reading. And I'll put the directions here. And I want this to be available now. There are grading options. I've tried using them without any success. I put grades in with comments and my students are unable to see them. It's probably operator error. To me, since I have to you put my grades in Infinite Campus anyhow, and I give my student work back with comments on it. I don't worry about the Schoology grading options. If you ever want to look into it, they have email, they have support. You could always go that route. This here, submissions enabled. I like this because I want my students to be able to submit their answers through Schoology and visible to students. Make sure they can see this. And I'm going to go ahead and create that assignment. Now, along with this assignment, what I'm also going to need or add is I'm going to add a discussion. I want my students to do the assignment, and the last part is going to be to share in a discussion. I'll give them a prompt to answer in the discussion. And what I often do is I will require them to also respond to 1 or 2 classmates' posts. So the directions would go up here. I'm not going to do grading. The due date, I want to make sure that they have this done by Friday, so I'll go ahead and put a Friday date in there. Okay. Now down here, if I had a student, let's look at some of these icons. If I had a student who was reassessing and I had tailored a reassessment specifically for that student, I could individually assign it. I could align to my learning objectives. I could keep it locked, which I've never used that feature. Again, visible to students. But right here is what I really, really like. Notice when I hover over this icon, it says members can see other responses before participating. I choose not to use that feature because I don't want my students influenced by what others are thinking about a particular topic. So when I click this, now they cannot see their classmates' posts until they post theirs. Once they post their initial response, they'll be able to see their classmates' initial responses as well as comments left for those classmates by other classmates. So that's a really great feature. I know that's a feature that a lot of my graduate professors used in Blackboard during some graduate courses. Share discussions, copy to courses, those are the features I have not used, but they're pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to go ahead and create, oh, hold on, let's go up here one more minute to these. If I wanted to add a file to this discussion, a supplemental piece of information that I wanted the students to read, I could add that. If I wanted them to go and check out something on the internet, I could post the URL. Another resource or another external tool. I tend to use these first two more often. So let's just say I want them to go to our website. Sorry, I can't type today. Right down here is where the URL will come. And if I want to make sure I've got the right place, there I go with the preview. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and recreate that. These icons, the students get really familiar with what they mean. Now I want to go ahead and add one more thing to this right now because I also want them to watch a movie that goes with this. And I would put my description right here. And when, notice again, visible to students, students can comment. But right here, this is really important. Notice again, students can add media. I don't want them adding media, not for this assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that. So I'm the only one adding media. And when I hit create, here's where I can attach my file. So let's see if I can find a small enough piece of media to upload quickly. When it's done loading, I'm going to hit Add Media. There you go. Let's go back to my folder. If I wanted to add more, I can add more. Okay? Again, anytime you see the little wheel, you can edit, unpublish, right here. Delete the album. Let's go back to my folder. I have a movie. This here was something I was trying to do, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Gone. If I wanted to add a page, I can go ahead and add a page. I can copy and paste. Let's say this was an article to read. Okay. I can copy and paste it in here, or I can choose a file. And my file was there, and now it added it. So when they go in here to article to read, they click on this and they can see it. Okay? I've also found that adding PowerPoint's the same way, is a great thing. If I do a PowerPoint in class, I simply upload it to Schoology, so if my students need to refer back to it while they're doing their assignments, no problem. One last thing I want to show you is right here under course options, it says send message. This will send a message. I have all members. Once you have your students sign up in your class, I always have them set it up so that anytime I send a message from Schoology, it forwards to their primary email address or whatever's going to alert them to go and look at that message right away. So maybe I want to send out a remember summative on Monday because they didn't have school Friday, or we had a snow day, whatever, and then here I would put the information for them, okay? And then I would hit send, and it would go to all my students. I also would have the choice to, I can send a message, I can choose members once I have them all listed. And what's nice is the students can also use this option and choose me and just send me a message. So that is a wonderful, wonderful tool for communication between you and your students. Right down here, I don't know if you've noticed the access code. This is the code that is assigned just to this particular course that I just created. This is all your students are going to need to use to get into your course. You don't have their email address or anything else. All they do is they log in and join your course using that number. You can set it up where you choose that you have to accept all of them or just automatically have them added. It depends what your intentions are and how easy, whatever's going to be easier for you. Notifications for me, right in here, this is how I have things set up. My account settings, privacy settings are very important, of course. I only have Schoology users able to view my account, and I don't have anything in my recycling bin. This here shows me messages, emails. I sent some out to students. This is the one I just sent out. Here's one a student sent to me because she had found some missing work. I, right here, replied to her, send. Now say she needed help. I could upload something to the internet or give her a link that had information in it. I could also attach a file if she was missing a paper when she got home, and then send it. And then that student would have that work. This is just my feed. I have chosen this myself. Very, very user-friendly, and here is your log out. I think Schoology is a great learning management system for its sense of simplicity and its user-friendliness. And what I really like with the students is they can do it on a desktop or on an iPhone or an Android phone. So I think those are the basics. If you have questions, email me, metropolis.t@rochesterschools.com. Thanks for listening.